Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's edition of AM Minnesota. On our AM Minnesota program today, we're going to visit with some gentlemen about the wall coming to faribault. And they're just getting seated here. Oh, I need you to keep that mic right where I had it there, Peter. It was out of the picture. We've got Peter Van Sluis and we've got Kirk Mansfield in studio today. They are co-chairs of the Traveling Wall coming to faribault. And I do need the mic to be closer to your mouth, however. Peter, closer, closer. There you go. Good morning.
Good morning, Gordy. Thanks for having us.
How are you doing today, sir?
We're doing just fine, and Mike apologizes for keeping us a little longer at the Power 96 radio.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Kirk, how are you doing?
Hey, doing really well, thank you.
It's been a long time in the planning, and the week is finally here.
It's here. I mean, I can't believe it. We've 18 months here, and now we're basically 2 days out, so it's pretty amazing. Sleep has been at a minimum here, and we're getting excited. It's going to be a major monumental event for the community here.
Are you nervous?
No, not whatsoever. We got a lot of work to get done, but I'm confident that things are going to come together here in the end. People have really been stepping up. A lot of volunteers really coming out to help us out, and very much appreciated. The community has really stepped up on this, and just getting the word out. It's been pretty amazing transformation here these last several weeks and months just to get the word out, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, Peter, you've got enough volunteers. You need more?
We can always use more volunteers. I mean, we have our sign-up sheet. Then we have people, the minimum amount of people there, but we'd like to have a little bit more. There is, as Kirk said, there are so many things to do still. Besides the wall itself, which arrives on Wednesday afternoon, and on Thursday morning we're setting it up. But tonight, tomorrow night, Wednesday morning, we're all setting up. We have exhibits to set up. We have tents to set up. Porta potties are being delivered. Golf carts are being delivered. We have a veterans lounge that we're setting up where veterans can relax, and we're actually bringing couches and comfy chairs and just lights from our homes there, so people don't sit on metal chairs with fluorescent lights. We're going to make it cozy. People can hang. That's only for veterans and their family and friends, so they can just share stories and cry and talk and relax, etc. Yeah, and we'll be serving coffee, popcorn, water, snacks there, but that's for veterans only. The fairground itself, we decided not to sell anything. We decided not to do any food there either. So it's going to be solemn. It's going to be focusing on the wall.
We play music, Kirk?
There will be. We do have some areas, I think maybe in the Veterans Lounge. I don't know if we completely defined that, but there will be some amount of music there. And then also, well, just to kind of further emphasize some of Peter's points, but daily there'll be programs during the 2 o'clock hour each day. And that could include some music, definitely some guest speakers on hand, video presentations that we'll be running, concerning the Vietnam conflict, Vietnam War. So we'll have a lot of documentary type information there. And then there'll be an area where we have veteran services. We're going to have like the Yellow Ribbon Committee, they're going to set up there. We have some other veteran service groups that are going to be on hand with information available to the public, to veterans in particular. And then there'll be a photographic display. But within that area, maybe we'll set up some video presentation in there. We're kind of a running documentary type deal. So yeah, we've got a lot of areas to set up, and as Peter mentioned, we could definitely use some more volunteers. Anybody that wants to serve in any capacity, we've got a lot of work to do. A lot of the areas that we're going to have on display, we're going to need just some people to monitor information, just kind of monitor the areas, and if people have questions, then they can kind of direct them to the correct place or get them to the right individual if they have questions.
I know my good friends of the Kenyan Veterans Color Guard are going to stand post at one period of time, so I'm sure a lot of color guards are involved in this, right?
Absolutely. We have invited color guards from a very long distance away, and we even have the correct squad from Sherrocks and Mary. They'll be there a few times, also standing guard. Yes. So we have a missing man table, which is the POW MIA table, and I'm not sure if you know that, but it's if people come and see that, we will explain really what it's all about. But there will be 24 hours a day, there will be a sentry in front of that. And then to also talk about the color guard, so every day we will open the day with reveille and posting of colors, and every night we will play taps and retrieve the colors again. And I just talked to the BA athletic director. We're actually going to be on the field in the BA football game as well.
We got to take a little break here, then we'll come back and we'll visit more about the traveling Florida service of your KDHL Agri Boosters. They include Northland Buildings for quality post-frame construction. Head to the website northlandbuildings.com. And Ag Power Enterprises, your John Deere dealer. They have locations in Owatonna, Hollandale, Belle Plaine, also Osage, and Northwood, Iowa. In studio, Peter Van Sluis and Kirk Mansfield. They are the co-chairs of the Traveling Wall project, the Vietnam Memorial Replica, which is coming to Faribault. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I seem to recall in previous conversations on the show that there are 4 of these, right?
That is correct. So there's 4 replicas. There are different organizations. There's the moving wall, there's the traveling wall, there's the wall that heals, and we have the wall that's called the American Veterans Traveling Tribute, the AVTT. So some are 50%, some are 60% size. Ours is an 80% replica. So it's 8 feet tall on the top, and then it goes down, and it is 360 feet wide, and it stands in an angle of 120 degrees. So it's basically a replica of the wall in DC, and of course every single name is on there.
58,282 names.
That is correct.
The only reason
yes.
I know that is it says it right on their shirts. Can people purchase these awesome shirts?
Yes, however, we have made a decision not to sell food and not to sell anything at the wall site.
Right.
The only organization is the AVTT wall itself. They have a trailer and they sell some commemorative coins and materials. But we decided, because we didn't want to make this a circus, there's nothing there. I mean, the veterans can get the food in their veterans lounge, but if you want to get shirts, please go to the Legion, go to the Elks Lodge.
Okay.
That's where we will be having these shirts. Yes.
Yeah. Kirk, how much are they?
The short sleeve we're running for $8. We've actually discounted them because we want to push them through to the veterans community. And then we have long sleeve, which is virtually the same shirt, just long and short sleeve, and those are $14 for the long sleeve. So
Have those sales been going well?
they have tremendous. In fact, some of our stock has been depleted to the point, I think, like medium, and we might be really low, or if not out, on the large, but we have XL, 2X, a lot of smalls. I think there were quite a few smalls left, at least in the short sleeve. But yeah, there's a pretty good variety, but I think medium and large have been pretty well depleted because that's pretty popular size.
I have to tell you, every time I wear mine in public, I always get comments on it.
We do, yeah, it's amazing.
Absolutely.
Just the word's been getting out. I mean, there's been obviously a major media push here this last month or so within the paper. In fact, Owatonna People's Press ran just a really outstanding article over the weekend to help get the word out from their aspect, because we are pre-staging in Owatonna on Wednesday, which if you don't mind, I can discuss a little bit of that. So for those that want to join us on the processional escort, that happens on Wednesday. So we're actually meeting here in Faribault at Post 43, American Legion, during the 11 o'clock hour. At high noon or very shortly thereafter, we're actually going to take a pretty sizable group of folks, motorcycles, cars, whoever wants to join us. This is open, free to the public. Meet us down at the Legion during the 11, because at noon we're going to roll out of there and we're heading towards the Steele County Fairgrounds, directly behind the grandstand, at the fairgrounds down there. And then we're actually going to set there, and then at 2:30 we anticipate the truck and trailer to arrive. They're coming in from out of state, Illinois, where they're on display. As of, I think they're ending today, in fact, and they're going to be making their way to Minnesota here. So Wednesday at 2:30 we anticipate their arrival, and then at 3 o'clock we're going to be rolling out of the fairgrounds down there under full processional escort with law enforcement, fire, EMT, all your first responders, and they're going to give us a proper welcome up into Faribault here. So we'll be proceeding from Owatonna. We'll be proceeding north on, I think that's Oak, Cedar, north onto Hoffman. It kind of transitions into Hoffman there, and then County Road 45 up through Medford, and then through Faribault here on Willow, and then on 4th coming up through town, and then on Highway 21 going north, and then we'll come into the north end of the Rice County Fairgrounds. So we're leaving there at 3, and if you don't want to join us, or if you're not able to join us, then please come line the roadway. Have your American flags, patriotic attire, and line the roadways. The whole point of this procession is to give these folks a proper welcome home. A lot of Vietnam veterans are going to be with us, riding with us in particular, and particularly we want to honor the 58,000 plus names that are on that wall. Each name, tragically, their life was cut short, and each name belongs to someone, and we just want to give them the proper welcome home, and this is the way we're going to go about that to get them into town. So once we arrive Faribault, the Rice County Fairgrounds, there'll be a short welcome ceremony, and then everyone's invited down to the Legion here There'll be food available that evening and some social time. And that'll be truly our really last full night of being able to relax, because come the next morning around 7:30 a.m., we're going to open up the doors to that trailer, and that wall is going to come out, and we're going to start constructing that. So that's an amazing opportunity if you want to help volunteer, if you want to come help construct that wall. And then simultaneously, while that's being built, all the other areas we're going to be fine-tuning those, and setting up tents, tarps, any number of things, chairs, getting ready for the program overall. So we're going to need a tremendous amount of help, in that regard. So.
Beginning of this month, Peter, I noticed it was in Sturgis. You didn't happen to go out and...
Yes, it travels all over the country, and they try to coordinate that they're not like 1 week in Northfield, the next week in Faribault, because then you kind of defeat the purpose,
Right.
of kind of spreading it out. I wanted to get back one more thing about the escort. So Kirk said assemble at 11 o'clock at the Legion and roll out at 12. If that's too early for you, if you only want to take half a day off, you can come directly also to the Steele County Fairground. Just make sure you're there no later than about 2 o'clock, because with the amount of vehicles we're going to get and staging it, and there's a requirement that the trailer, the AVTT trailer, has to be the last vehicle, and there can only be 4 motorbikes behind that to kind of close that. So we're going to have to kind of stage hundreds of vehicles. So.
And then we want the parade route, for lack of a better term, the processional route.
Yes, we try to avoid the word parade.
Yeah,
yes.
It's not a parade, it's a procession.
Yes.
We want the processional route lined with people.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the mayor of Medford, now of course Medford is a pretty smaller town, but she has actually contacted every single resident, and she is going to put the flags out. And I heard that Medford Muni bought a big welcome home veterans banner, and the churches, they're all involved. So Medford is supposed to have everybody lined out there on 45. And we actually have gone door to door, physically door to door, on the 20-mile stretch from Steele County Fairgrounds to Rice County Fairgrounds. Today, Tony Lageroon's office is doing the whole of 4th Street, door to door, handing out posters and saying, look, the procession will come by your door.
On 4th Street, yeah.
Yeah, and then so this is pretty funny. I asked the police and sheriff about, because they're heavily involved with us, of course. We asked them, what about these road closures? And they said, road closures, call it a temporary traffic obstruction. Because really, if you really look at it, even if you have a few hundred vehicles, how long will it take? 20, 25 minutes to drive by? So they're going to close off the intersections, because you don't want some of the other people to be trapped in there and can't get out.
Right.
So, but yeah, we went door to door, and today's the last day that we're finishing that up, and we've spoken to businesses, and of course you can't ask a business like KFC or Taco Bell to shut down and go outside, but a lot of businesses can step outside with their employees, and they have a lot of them have already organizations like the county building. They've already committed to everybody stepping out and have flags with them. And
let's hope the weather's nice.
So far it looks like it's going to be dry, but then again, don't forget, kids in Vietnam didn't say to their commanding officer, sorry, it's raining today, we're not fighting.
No.
They were out there as well. So this is come rain, come shine. And actually we have another ride coming up, and why don't you talk about that, Kirk?
We do. So along with all the activities that are going to be going on with the wall while it's here, Thursday is going to be the main setup day. As I mentioned, we have a soft opening at 1 p.m. We have some Gold Star families coming in to help with the laying of the memorial wreaths. There's going to be a dove release during that time frame, and then at 6:30 p.m. that'll be our grand opening ceremony. And we've got some guest speakers coming in for that, and any amount of things happening, music, patriotic music and whatnot. So that's at 6:30. That program will last about an hour. And as I mentioned, around the 2 p.m. hour every day, there'll be some truncated or some version of some speakers and music and whatnot. But on Saturday, we're having a ride, a motorcycle ride, and we're calling it Run for the Wall. And it's going to initiate or originate here at the Post 43 American Legion. And we're inviting all folks to come out. Bikes, cars are welcome. But it's called Run for the Wall, and we could just as easily drive from Faribault American Legion across town, the mile or so, whatever it is, over to Rice County Fairgrounds. But that ain't really going to work out. So what we want to do is we want to actually take people out into the countryside, We're actually going to go down to Pine Island, American Legion, and they'll have lunch served down there for us, and then we're going to ride through the countryside and rolling hills here in southern Minnesota, and we're going to end up at the VFW in Cannon Falls, and then from there we'll make our way back to Faribault on all the county roads here, and then we're going to end up at the wall itself. So we're calling it Run for the Wall. It's about a 120-mile round trip transit, and what we really, our objective here is to obviously get to the wall. But while people are out riding, we want them to be able to reflect on the scenery around them, enjoy the camaraderie of who they're with. They're all going to be in good company. A lot of veterans, non-veterans alike. All are welcome to join us. If you ride, certainly come down. So that's actually going to leave Faribault American Legion on Saturday morning, September 3rd. We're leaving at 11, so we want to kind of get everybody together there during the 10 o'clock hour. But 11 o'clock, we're going to roll. We're going to not necessarily be on a real tight timeline, but we want to roll down and be able to get back here in good order late afternoon so that people are able to enjoy the day and enjoy time with friends and family at the wall. So that's kind of the whole deal there. But no cost whatsoever, no registration fee, no setup fee, nothing. We're not asking for any donations, anything whatsoever. So just come and join us in any capacity. If you own a motorcycle, I definitely want to see it. And if you got a car, you're more than welcome to come join us, anything at all.
This is an opportunity we'll probably never get again. Do you think?
Well, it's tough. I mean, you know, the wall has traveled the upper Midwest here on any numerous occasions. We've had the opportunity to have it in Minnesota quite a bit. Most recently, it was just in St. James here a year ago. They've had it at Fort Snelling, Sauk Center here just about a month ago or so, I believe, and then Cleveland up the road here. Cleveland had it 2 years ago. So we've got the wall is here. It was in Cannon Falls 10 years ago. But it's very rare, you know, where you got the opportunity to have it directly in your own community. So it's we're taking advantage of this as best we can, and we're inviting all of our Vietnam community members to come out, enjoy this time. You know, family, friends, anybody that's served in any capacity, really. Yeah, it's extremely rare to have it in your hometown. So we're really looking forward to this.
That's a good opportunity, Peter, for us to welcome home the Vietnam vets that never got much of a welcome.
Absolutely. Now, I was not in the service myself. I am a member of the Sons of the American Legion because my father-in-law served in World War II and the Korean War.
Yep,
and of course, and I do apologize, we're forgetting to mention Virginia Van Sluis, who is really the driving force behind this. And so Virginia, Kirk, and myself, we are the three co-chairs. We have another 10, 12 people in the core committee. That really have been, you know, working real hard, and then we have an enormous amount of additional volunteers here. But what was the question?
Well, I don't know if it was a question, it was more of a statement that we never really gave the Vietnam vets
Absolutely,
kind of
yes.
welcome that we should have when they got back from Vietnam.
Right, so as I said, I did not serve, and Kirk is also a little bit beyond the Vietnam era, but we all know what happened. I grew up in Holland, and there was a tremendous protest going on about the Vietnam War, and we're not talking whether or not this war was a good war or a bad war, should have happened, should not have happened. We're keeping politics completely out of this. But you know, those Vietnam veterans, and we all think of them as these guys with the white beards and the long white hair riding motorbikes. They were 18 and 19-year-old kids that were sent there. And you know, some people signed up, of course, but they were there, and then you hear these stories. Last night I got a call from a lady up in Northfield, and she had her two sons that were there. The one was he enlisted. The other one was in the national draft lottery. He actually had number 1 on his ticket in the nation, and he said, well, you know what, I might as well enlist now too, because they're going to draft me anyway. And she told me the story in between crying. Unfortunately, you know, so her one son died because of, you know, Agent Orange and other complications when he was 55. Her other son is dementia right now, but she said, you know, we were never the same anymore. The whole family was not, and the whole, you know, the kids had PTSD the rest of their lives, and the one son, his job was to pick up the bodies after every battle. So she said, and then they came back, and people threw things at them. You know, they were spitting on him, and you've heard all these stories. One of the guys from the Legion, he said, look, whenever they were in a parade, they had to use the butt of their gun to basically hit the protesters that were coming there to hit them. You know, and it was just people came back. They had to. They came back in the middle of the night. They came back without uniforms. One of the guys who was going to be laying one of the wreaths, he told me he came. He was a mechanic, but he volunteered as a helicopter gunner, and he came back because he had I think it was yellow fever, but he had to come back early. So through Japan, he came to Kansas to a hospital, and he said the only one that said thank you and welcome home was the janitor in the hospital. So then you hear, and then a week later he hears that his helicopter was downed and he lost all his folks there. So and you know, as I said, the lady last night, she was on and off crying, and even those tough Marines. I know there's one 6'6" Marine, and he can, you know, once a Marine, always a Marine, and he can snap you like a twig. And we asked him, "You want to lay a wreath?" He said, "Nope, can't do it. Can't speak, can't do it." You know, people get tears in their eyes. It's you know, the memories all come back, and you know, besides buddies that they lost, and but also they're non-welcome. So we are doing this big welcome home. Actually, not sure if it's in the program, but it was like around the time we were printing this program. Yep. So local law enforcement, the police chief called me, said, "Look, we made a banner, we made a flag, said welcome home. Thank you. Can we present that to a veteran?" And we're still not sure who we're going to present it to, or whether we're going to present it to the Legion. You don't want to single one veteran out.
Sure.
But we're doing right now is welcome home. Thank you for your service, you know, and not just for the Vietnam vets. It's, you know, it's focused on Vietnam vets, but it's really for any veteran and the current active service personnel. So.
Well, I said in a posting on our website, and I really believe this, every single one of our residents should spend some time here just to pay respects to these individuals who paid the supreme sacrifice so we can enjoy the freedoms that we currently experience.
Right, no doubt. That's all we're really asking of people. Just come out and just learn a little bit about the history, speak with the veterans that are there, particularly the Vietnam veterans and their families that are going to be there with us. But just come out and just try to understand, have a better understanding of what this was all about. I mean, this war happened 50 years ago, but the memories, they still reside there. You know, a lot of folks are still struggling, as Peter alluded to, and you know, some of these demons are still there, and they're going to surface for a lot of folks. But you know, I've had a amazing opportunity of having gone to Washington D.C. I've been to the National Memorial on very numerous occasions. Not only riding my motorcycle from here to Washington D.C., but you know, through my business travel, I've been able to, you know, spend some time out there at the wall. So each new moment, or each time I visited there, I've learned just a little bit more. And you know, I carry a list of names with me, about 25 names, and then when I go to the wall, I look those names up. And each one of those names, I'm basically just one person away from knowing. So it's either through, you know, my father's a Vietnam veteran, and so he had a good friend of his that was a year ahead of him in high school that was killed in action. So it's, you know, I'm just basically one person away from knowing all of these names, and now collectively I'm starting to know a lot more, just not only from our community, but just in conversation with other folks. So we're just asking people to come out, spend time, try to have a better understanding of this, ask questions. You know, there'll be a lot of people there that can help answer those questions, you know, guide you around. There's going to be a lot of other military mobile museum will be there. Like I mentioned earlier, we got the veteran service tables set up, so there's going to be just a wealth of information. So just come out and learn some of this, and just enjoy the time, and hopefully we'll be able to help somebody along. I mean, each wall visit is different for everyone. Some people struggle with it, some don't. The ones that do, primarily what I've seen in my course of going to the wall, those that travel to the wall with any amount of difficulty, once they leave there, they've pretty much all said, "Hey, I'm glad I did that. I've been able to release a lot of this that I've been, you know, any amount of tension, or it's just like baggage that they leave behind once they leave there." And it's just it's a transformational process. It's a healing process. It's a process of understanding, and that's what we're looking most forward to, is to be able to assist anyone that's struggling in any manner whatsoever when they walk away from there. I know that they'll feel good in having done it. And if they're not able to, I know people that go to the wall, but they're not able to look at the names, you know, and we'll be there for them too. So whatever amount of assistance they need, there'll be definitely people around to help walk them through that process. One thing that I wanted to mention is we will have the POWMI table on display 24 hours daily with the standing sentinel, as Peter mentioned earlier. And we could use some help for folks that want to do that too. I mean, we have a lot of time slots we need to fill yet. So if you're willing to just come out and sit next to that table or stand next to that table for any amount of time, half hour, 2 hours, whatever you think you might be able to give up. It'd be awesome if you can come help with that.
Yeah, there'll be security here, right?
That's correct. The Marine Corps League Cannon Valley Division, they will be there 24 hours a day, and they will be protecting that wall. We don't expect anything major, but nobody's going to steal the wall. But you never know if there's protesters or if there's, if there's other
vandalism
issues. Yeah, we do welcome protesters. We actually, frankly, have a protester area set up for them. It's in the northwest corner by the railroad track. They can stand there and protest all they want. So. I have one more thing about a veteran. The definition of a veteran, and you can look this up on the internet as well. So it says a veteran is someone who, at one point in their life, wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America for an amount up to and including their life.
It's pretty heavy,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Wow.
I know.
I don't know if I want to end on that note.
No.
Closing ceremonies are at 2 on Labor Day, right?
Actually, they're at 1 o'clock on Labor Day. Yes.
Oh, okay.
That is. We finalize some of the time, so people can be there 24 hours a day. By the way, we do expect about 20,000 people to come and visit that wall. Now, don't forget, most people only are there for 1 hour, 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's not that we're going to have major parking issues. So we do have parking. The city has and the county have set up the same parking that we have for the county fair as well.
Where exactly is the wall going to be on the fairgrounds?
Right, so if you're familiar with Rice County Fairgrounds itself, next to the beer garden, next to the bingo, what they use for the bingo hall area, in that kind of, there's a grassy berm area kind of along the west side of the beer garden area, so that's where it's actually going to be set up.
The midway area.
Yeah, where the midway, when the fair's ongoing, the midway, basically in that general area there. So the parking will be just the same as when you go to the fair. You come in the east gate. We do have overflow parking at the north gate, but we're asking people primarily to use that east gate main entrance, and if it fills up, then we'll move down to the west.
There's going to be 50 signs all over town that route you to the fairgrounds, and then also at the fairgrounds itself we'll have signs from the parking area that says this way to the wall. So.
And it's free.
Absolutely free parking, free to visit. It's a healing and an educational process.
One other thing before I let you go, guys. I know you're going to have paper.
Yes. So if somebody wants to look for a name, we have computers and books set up, so people can come up with a name, a nickname, a city, whatever. We'll find a name. We'll print you a piece of paper. You can go up to the wall. We have step stools for you as well. We give you a pencil, and you can rub that name onto that piece of paper.
Yeah, I know a lot of people will want to do that. Thanks, guys, for doing this. It's awesome that it's
Thank you for having us.
Thank you,
Faribault.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. You're in tune to KDHL-AM, Faribault, Minnesota.
I'm Sherry Preston. This week on the campaign trail, Hillary Clinton lays out a comprehensive plan for mental health treatment. Donald Trump presents his immigration plan, and his campaign is dropping more cash on advertising.
In Hillary Clinton's America,